Why don't you tell him that I'm leaving, never looking back again. You found somebody who does it better than he can. No more making you cry. No more.
Welcome back to the Stockwell Rocher Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
I'm John Van Hall with Remax Advantage Plus.
We're happy to have Johnny V, even though we love Josh. We're happy to have Johnny V in because the music selection is a lot better than Josh's music selection. So I'm very happy about that. So
I'm going to have to bring my iPod with every time.
we have Brad Kirscher, attorney at law, talking about exiting gracefully on your home. Eric Swift was sharing some information about how you save money on your insurance. That can actually lead to it. Folks, every dollar counts here. So especially when you're in a situation, for most of us, it counts and it should count. But when you're really in a tough financial situation, every dollar really, really counts even more. If you have a pay cut in your job, or if you have, if you're going through financial crisis, or have a family situation, or a divorce, or some injury, or something that takes you out from making the money that you were, or your payments are superseding what you're bringing in. Every dollar counts, and insurance is a big factor. So do a review on that. Mortgages, Stephanie, refinancing, right? I mean, that it can save people money. It can save payments, right?
Absolutely.
Save them from
we do
foreclosure.
what we call an annual mortgage checkup. So most people remember the day they closed on their house, at least the month that they closed on their house. So we typically reach out to our clients, but if you're not with Wells Fargo, any other lender, the month that you closed on your house, call your lender and ask them, hey, I just want to do a mortgage checkup. Where's my rate at? Do I qualify? Could I do a shorter term, get some cash out, maybe a home equity? And then again, at that time, we say, look at your homeowner's insurance. We see it all the time. I always tell people I'm not an insurance agent, but from what I see, you're paying a lot for homeowner's insurance.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy, but, especially when people are changing houses, just buying a house, and they're, I'll have a realtor just refer me and get a quote, and I'm talking like $600 to $800 difference sometimes. Just
yeah, it's amazing what we see, and that's what I always tell people is maybe they had a claim or something like that, but it was a couple years ago, and they're not looking at it. So it really can have an impact. But again, with your mortgage, absolutely, you're doing just do a quick checkup. Where am I at? Am I on the best mortgage product? Can I get some cash out? We talk about buying investment properties or investing your money.
Yes, I have personally seen rebound buyers. So if you listening are a rebound buyer, or if you want to exit gracefully, give us a call first, 651-400-0773, 651-400-0773, or go to the Stockwell Rocher Show on Facebook and find more information there. You can always reach out to us anytime. But if I've personally seen rebound buyers not only rebound from a short sale or a foreclosure or bankruptcy, but also go on to buy a home, new one, and get into investing and actually rebound. So they're coming back stronger in a financial situation and learning. Tremendous learning experiences come from failure. And not to say that it's failure if you went through a short sale or foreclosure, but it is a letdown. It is a negative thing to go through that. And it's emotionally tough. But you remember those moments and you remember those times. And if you can learn from that and do it right this time, do the correct way, then you'll be far, far better off. And, opening up right here, I personally have had a foreclosure back 2004. Best experience I've ever had. I hate to say it. It was bad and it was devastating at the time. Best experience I ever had. I learned so much. And learned what to do, what not to do, and to make sure that I did it right when I was doing it. It was an investment property that went bad, and I basically did what Brad said. I drained everything I had trying to save it. I was on the verge of bankruptcy, finally bankruptcy. I actually met with a bankruptcy attorney at that time and was able to get out of it. I had to do I did not know what Brad told me, or what Brad said in the beginning of the show, was that years later, I'd get a statement on my taxes saying, oh, you owe an extra, and I don't remember the amount, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, I don't know what it was, dollars in taxes, because this was not, it was pre-Debt Forgiveness Relief Act or whatever, but I had to pay taxes on it after. So I got burned on it by the situation. I was young and naive. I wasn't even licensed in real estate. Then I got burned by settling with the second, and then I got burned by the taxes all over a 5-year span. Plus, I had a foreclosure on my record. But the rebound is good, folks, because it actually forces you to save more. It forces you to buy right and to be more cautious when you buy. And I just don't want to see anybody in the situation now with how good the real estate market is, and money's flowing freely, and things are happening, and people are spending and spending and spending and not paying attention, that you hate to see some of those repeats happen again. They will, inevitably, some of them will. Hopefully not to the degree that it did in the past. But
Well, and it's the communication we talked about. I mean, Eric, you mentioned it, Brad, or even at Wells Fargo, just make that phone call. Do your research. There is a lot of great resources on the internet, but actually talking to somebody. And thank you, Jason, for sharing your story. People see, here's this all successful guy, real estate. He couldn't possibly understand what I'm going through with a foreclosure. But you do, because life happens to everyday people. And, you're a true testament to
we all
success
make mistakes,
can happen.
but you can get through them. And I know the situation.
Even Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy.
Well, that's the other thing. But
Not
the
to bring
thing
up
is,
politics.
Donald Trump did a lot of us here in Minnesota. We were just more quiet about the situations like that, and it's also such a negative to our peers that we don't want to show anything. So we'll actually go in and we'll do what Brad said. We'll drain our accounts. We'll suck money out of retirement accounts that we don't know are protected, just to save face. When you got guys like Trump, and I think some of the things Trump says are great and some are not great, but that utilize the system to their advantage, and we could have done that, and it's fine, right, Brad? I mean, maybe you can go on more about exiting gracefully and how to save your home would be a good topic too. But
absolutely, I do want to say one thing. Stephanie said something very important, and that's communication. There is a lot of information on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't all apply to you when you're looking at it. A lot of this stuff, especially with real estate and mortgages, is state by state. Well, the internet is all 50 states plus everywhere else on earth. And so just because you read it on the internet doesn't mean that it applies to your situation.
You know what else is on the internet real quick? A lot of scams too. So be careful, because someone will say, "Oh, I'll save you. I can save you from foreclosure. Send a check here for $1,500 and then pay me X amount a month, and I'll do it." I mean, just be cautious of that stuff. They're just preying on stuff.
Pay me some money and we'll take it off your credit
especially
report.
if it's out of state. Especially if it involves where you can't sit down face to face with someone. I mean, it's those are really stuff you should talk to someone locally about first, seeing if it's legit. But anyway,
It blew my mind. Times when I've had to argue with my clients. They come in and talk to me about they have a first mortgage and foreclosure, and they have a second mortgage of a significant amount of money, and I tell them, your foreclosure of your first mortgage is not going to get rid of the debt on the second mortgage. And I've had some argue with me. Well, I read on the internet that the second mortgage is just going to go away. Well, this isn't California. Okay, this is Minnesota. The second mortgage doesn't go away. When your first mortgage forecloses, your second mortgage becomes unsecured. They sue you on the promissory note. They sue you on the contract to repay the debt. And that's really where the bankruptcy comes in. The bankruptcy is part of exiting gracefully. Also, we were talking about tax ramifications of a foreclosure or a short sale. Any debt that's canceled through a bankruptcy is never taxed as income. It's never considered income for tax purposes. And so that's a good tool if you're wanting to exit gracefully and you're worried that Congress is not going to act to relieve you of the potential tax burden to file bankruptcy. Other important things when exiting gracefully is you absolutely need to have insurance on that property until the expiration of your redemption period. You do not want to have uninsured property. And in some bankruptcies, it's actually required that you prove that you have it. And that's what I'm going to turn to now, if that's okay, saving the house.
yes.
You don't want to exit gracefully. You love that house. You have memories in it, and you think that you can make a go of it. What can you do? It depends on where you are in the process. If it's the day before your foreclosure sale and you call me, I'll meet with you. I'll do everything I can to help you. It's going to be a lot harder and definitely going to be more expensive, but I've done it before.
Yeah.
But it's always better when you see trouble is meet it head on, because the lenders are doing modifications, but it's very much dependent on when you get involved with them. So you may be able to modify your loan and save yourself from even getting into a foreclosure situation. However, a lot of people have the underwater mortgage, where they say they have two mortgages, right? They bought with $0 down in 2006, and they had 80% financing with the first mortgage, 20% with the second mortgage, and now they find themselves significantly underwater. But if they didn't have that second mortgage, they'd have equity in their home, or at least they wouldn't be as far underwater. And let's look at that. Say you'd be right at the break-even point if you didn't have that pesky second mortgage. What can you do? Sounds like we're going to talk about that in the next session.
Yes, that is a good teaser for the next segment. What can you do if you're in that situation? We'll be back with more with Brad Kirscher, Eric Swift, Stephanie Havel. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
I'm John Van Hall with RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
I hope you guys are getting great information out of this, you rebound buyers, and those of you that may want to exit gracefully or keep your home and maybe make better financial decisions.